Okay, part two. So we have our nachos, and we've got the chips, and we've got cheese, and we've got meat. And, like I said, your mom would be pretty happy that that's, a good meal. She feels like you're getting some good protein, some good dairy, some good calcium. And your readers would probably be happy with what they read. But, let's spice it up a little bit more. Let's add a little bit more to it. So I like guacamole on mine. You could stop, like I said, you could stop with chips, meat, and cheese. However, adding some additional toppings only makes your nachos taste better. Adding some extra little details and little things within your writing is going to make it better. Now, you can think about this like guacamole. You can think about it like salsa. You could think about it like sour cream or olives or jalapenos or whatever. This is just my analogy. Spice up your life by writing some more tasty details in your elaboration. What else did the article say about that topic? How does this connect to your previous paragraphs? Now, we only have one paragraph, so we don't have to worry about that so much. But how can your reader learn more about this topic? Or what can they do about the problem that's happening? Who specifically would this knowledge benefit to? So those kind of questions you want to be thinking about. And you can use sentences like this. Imagine if you didn't have notes to review for math class. Would it be harder to remember ideas? Imagine if you, studied your notes and your confidence in the ideas went up. Here's a suggestion. A suggestion for students, the minute you get home, have a snack, watch a little TV, and then have homework time and set a timer for 15 minutes to look over your notes and do some practice. And then move on to something else. And then you've reviewed your math and you'll do better in class. Those kind of ideas are going to push your reader to the top. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to say, here is a suggestion. When students get home from school, have a snack, relax, and watch TV for a half hour, and then turn to homework. Set a timer for 15 minutes and use that time to review notes. It doesn't take long, but that extra practice will help students, gotta keep in the right tense, will help students remember what they learned that day in class. Okay, so now I've added a little bit of guacamole, I add a little extra something to get my readers thinking. Now the final thing would be salt. That salt sprinkled on top of your savory nachos is word choice. Do you repeat any words in your commentary? Do you use any bland, boring words? Or are you using 7th grade rich words, academic words, more adjectives, more things that are descriptive? Before you move on, before you conclude your thing, before you do anything, it really does make a big difference just to put a little salt on top. Search your sentences for bland words and replace them with flavorful language. Use thesaurus.com if you need to. Now, I do want to remind you guys that start learning different ways to say, instead of saying stated, you could say mentioned or whatever, because you've only got your brain. You've only got those kind of things to have. Now, I'm going to quickly add in the last part, the S, the races. What have I been trying to prove this whole time? What have I been trying to talk about with my student or my reader? This whole time I've been trying to tell them that reviewing notes every day will help them do better in class. So I'm going to just add on my last concluding sentence. So in conclusion, reviewing math notes daily will help students get better grades. Okay, so that's what I was trying to prove, and I did it. Now I want to point out, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. That whole part is my explanation part. That's my elaboration. That's the E in races. Instead of one sentence, I'm writing several. It makes it a lot more interesting. As we look at this, this is an entire race's response right here. This entire thing, and I'm done. One paragraph. Okay? And at the very end, you get to enjoy. Once you have created your nostrils, the best thing to do is enjoy them. Read through your hard work and notice that it sounds much more sophisticated. Much more quality work is going into it because you took the time to add extra details that actually teach your reader. So I have an extra example right here on the bottom, and I've added the evidence. Okay, so right here is the evidence. According to the author, Kayla Boyce, she stated, television has its good side. It can be entertaining and educational and can open new worlds for kids, giving them a chance to travel the globe, learning about different cultures, and gain exposure to ideas that may never encounter in their community. End quote. Here's the elaboration. Notice the layers of nachos. That part right there is our chips. That's the base of it. Let's add our cheese. As you can see, television can help children explore new ideas, especially if they can't get them in their own community. Okay, so let's add a little meat. This is important because exploring new ideas can help the world be a better place. New ideas lead to new inventions. New inventions lead to the world being a more beneficial place. Okay, she explains that television can help children get a chance to travel the globe. Here's our guacamole. This is a great opportunity for children, especially for families who don't have enough money to go travel and explore new places. And I sprinkled it all with salt by making sure that my word choice was a lot more interesting than just using bland, boring, simple, everyday words. Ladies and gentlemen, commentary doesn't have to be hard if you stop and think about each step along the way. Now, I want to do some practice. Okay, and I'm going to try and keep this whole thing up. I already have the chips in our examples that we're going to do. We're going to add the cheese, we're going to add the meat, we're going to add the guacamole, and then we'll sprinkle it with salt as we go through. Okay, so I have a little example here. Now I'm going to we'll probably do the first little bit and then have to do the other part in a second video. A third video probably, but here is what I have so far. Now this includes my thesis statement and my evidence. Okay, now this is an essay, not a short response, so it's a little bit longer, but that's okay. So the bright light glows on the faces of all students. Teachers wonder if learning is taking place. A shut down your screen week has just been proposed by a group of parents and teachers at schools, which would be a week where no students could use any electronic media. They think that a week with no technology whatsoever will benefit in many ways. While it could, technology has many more benefits than drawbacks because it can help with the loneliness, you can make friends, and help with schoolwork. So right here is the thesis statement. Technology has many more benefits than drawbacks, so it's more beneficial than not. Okay, and they give 3 reasons why. Now they're going to support each of those 3 reasons through this essay. Here's where the first reason is. First, there should not be a shut down your screen week because studies have shown that people are less likely to be lonely if they use social media. So here's our chips. In the article, Social Media as Community by Keith Hampton, it said, a study found that those who use social media had more close friends than those who did not, regardless of whether or not the participant was married or single. The same article stated, a recent follow-up study, Social Networking and Our Lives, found that the average user of social networking site had more close ties than and was half as likely to be socially isolated as the average American. So now let's add our cheese. This evidence shows what? So let's go back and summarize what this evidence is actually showing. Okay, so what is it talking about? Studies found that those who use social media had more close friends than those who do not, regardless of whether or not the participant was married or single. So this evidence shows people who use social media are more likely to what? How can I talk about have more close friends than did not? Are more likely to interact and hang out with others, right? Okay. Average user of social media site had more close ties than was half likely to be socially. Okay. They didn't just stay indoors and keep to themselves. Okay, so there's my cheese. I just summarized what the evidence was already saying. So now let's add some meat. Okay, so let's mix some things up. Remember, why is this important? Why does it matter to the reader? Why is it important that people don't isolate themselves? Okay, this is important because people who isolate themselves tend to become depressed. Depression is a mental disorder that can cause people to become extremely sick, and it could lead to suicide. If people interact on social media, they will feel appreciated and like they have a purpose to live. Okay? All right? Is that okay? All right. So now let's add some guacamole. Spice it up. How does this connect to our previous ideas? What else do we know about this? Who is this targeted to? All of this information is leading to whatever, we can think about that. Okay. So, let me think about here. Furthermore, interacting online through social media allows people to create new ideas and learn from others. One example is healthy recipes are shared, and stay at home moms talk with each other. Let's see, can I rephrase that? One example is stay-at-home moms talk with each other and share ideas to support their homes, such as healthy recipes, activities for kids, and learning opportunities. These moms, without the social media interaction, would not have these ideas, or thoughts. I'm going to say thoughts because I said ideas a lot. Okay. Now I could go on and on and on. And I've sprinkled, and notice I fixed my wordage to kind of sprinkle my salt as I was going. But I could read back through that and double check to see if I had enough salt or if I wanted to fix that or change any of my words. But I feel pretty good about it. Now I could go on and on and on and continue, but I'm not going to. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop there because I really feel like, there's not much more I can actually say to you that would really point this out anymore. But what I want you to do is get in the habit of slowly stopping and saying, okay, did I add enough? Did I teach them what this means to them? Did I make it important to their life so that they actually listen to what I'm saying? You as the writer are the expert. People are reading your pieces on the topic you write about to learn from you. Okay, so it's really important that you step up and you act like you're the expert on the topic. Because if you just kind of let things go by, they're going to see it in your writing. Use the layered nachos. It doesn't have to be cheese, meat, and guacamole and salt, but whatever your analogy is, use that to help you become a better writer.